Shanahan in the last couple days and essentially told everybody how great Matt Stafford is and simultaneously is telling you how bad Goff was. It's interesting. He was talking about Stafford this week, and he said, man, he is a bad blankety blanker. Whatever people say about him, he's better than advertised. The guy's ability to see the game, the feel, it's pretty unique. Man, his authentic way of connecting with teammates and coaches. It's great being around Matt Stafford. So I read that and I think, okay, I get it. You and Goff had a falling out. But I have a theory behind this, and I'll throw it to you. Is that McVay, he has two or three peers in this league, right? Contemporaries. Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, and him. Shanahan's beaten him 4 straight. Matt LaFleur beat him the only time he could face him. And McVay, and maybe he's right, is blaming Goff for in these 3 brilliant young head coaches. We've got 3 we think are brilliant. He's now 3rd. And he's taken it personally. Am I wrong?
Oh, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think you're 100% right. And, you think guys in a locker room are competitive, man. Coaches are incredibly competitive, right? And egotistical. I think you think the egos are big downstairs in the locker room. Walk upstairs to the coach's office. There's not a coach that doesn't believe under his expert tutelage he could fix anybody, right? So yeah, you're offended when it doesn't work out. You're upset when it doesn't work out. I'm 100% with Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford is an elite level quarterback that played in an organization that just didn't understand how to win football games. I think he had in 11 years, I think he had one time where he had a running back rush for over 1,000 yards against Reggie Bush, and it was like 1,003 or something.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it just never had a defense, a running game, any of that stuff to really take the pressure off. And I think one of the things that is going to be really interesting with Matthew Stafford here is we call it, or Sean McVay calls it, the illusion of spread, right? How much a spread offense they look like initially because they're a one-back, 3 wide receiver, 11 personnel grouping. But man, this is a smash mouth football team. It'll be the first time that Matthew Stafford has played somewhere that they really are considering, how do we run the ball? How do we run it effectively? What is our identity in running the ball? Which I think is important because it opens up all the play action that comes off of that. And there's a difference, Colin, between what I call run action versus play action, right? To really get people to take that extra step on run action plays, right? You've got to run the play. You've got to be sold out. They've got to see it on film. They got to work against it. They got to do all those things to really get that oh shoot step, right? Where you take one extra step and all of a sudden you're outflanked and you're in trouble. Like he's never had that, and he has it now. And I'm completely intrigued with the Rams and what they're going to bring to the table with Matthew Stafford, because I think he is an elite level player. He's elite in the pocket, manipulating the pocket, moving around. And I'll tell you what Bruce Arians told me doing a Detroit game last year. He said, one of the only quarterbacks I've ever left the locker room early just to watch him warm up. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever watched play on film. And he's one of the guys that I just want to watch him throw the football because I think he's remarkable. And I think that's how most people in the league feel about a guy that hasn't had a lot of success, from a win standpoint, but is a pretty incredible player.
So Carl Nassib, and it does take courage, unfortunately, in America. If you're different than a lot of people, there's negativity. I have not been on social media at all today, really. Joy told me it was very positive, which is, I think, it really encouraging that Carl Nassib came out and said, I'm gay. I'm giving $100,000 to the Trevor Project. You've been in those locker rooms for years. Just kind of your thoughts on it.
Yeah, my thoughts is like, you're right. Courageous. I think all those things, all those superlatives are great because it is, but I've always felt this way about the NFL. I've always felt like the NFL locker room is a very accepting place, regardless of what's going on. If you can play, nobody cares what you are, right? You know what they care about? Are you a football player? And if you're a football player, and Carl Nassib he's a really good football player. Like that's all they care about. That's all you care about inside a locker room. Now, one of the things about a locker room and one thing about guys in general is like, I know my college buddies love me because they are going to flip me so much grief. Like when we get together this summer, they're going to flip me so much grief. If they didn't, I'd be concerned, right? Because that means that's how guys show love to one another. So, you walk into a locker room, that's part of the acceptance aspect of it. And, I'm sure there'll be a feeling out process like what's okay, what's not okay. But the bottom line is Carl Nassib can play. So as long as you can play, man, we're good with you. It's all good. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for him to kind of quote unquote live his truth. I'm excited for what this does as far as taking pressure off of other players because just statistically, there's going to be quite a few players on, a couple players on every team.
Yeah. Mark Schlereth, Fox Sports. Good seeing you, buddy. Have a beautiful summer in Colorado. It's a great place to be, man.
No question about it. You too. Have a great summer. Thanks, Joy. Bye.
See ya. So I think I talked him into Mitch Trubisky over Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's very good detective work by